I'm here with Chief Steward Brad Lewis to do the Stewards report. Brad, what a wonderful day, Champion Fillies Day. We had four black type races and all went off pretty well.
It did, Mark. We've got a June inquiry out of one of the feature races, which we'll get to when we cover that shortly.
Oh, eventful. Looking forward to that. Brad, let's start things off with race number one. It was the Evolution Plate over 1,100 metres. It was for the babies, and we know these juvenile races, a lot can come out of them.
That's right, my Demi. It raced keenly, held up a little bit in the straight. We did show Patrick Carberry replay of it around the 150 metre mark where his mount made contact with Frosty Bay to its outside, and we told him to be more patient and wait for a clear run to eventuate. Media Baron looked very unlucky. Mark held up in the straight and also got up onto heels and had to come back at about the 150 metre mark, and Soundcheck was another one that was impeded until about the 100 metre mark.
Adam, Brad, we saw the winner there up the inside for Dan Pearce. Following the rail, it's a very big help for these juvenile horses.
That's right. The less ground you've got to cover, particularly with the young horses, will always help, Mark.
Race number two was the Tony Cook Handicap over 1,600 metres, and Outlaw Pete is still waiting to get out, Brad.
That's right, a number of runners held up in this race. Star Exhibit blocked until about the 200. Dart Musket, no look at all in the straight. Outlaw Pete, also as you mentioned, and Reflectance. Aaron Mitchell put forward wasn't really suited by leading at all, and that had been detrimental to its performance. Who's to Blame was to be ridden forward, which we did release that information, but it wasn't able to be after being slow out of the barriers.
On to race number three, the Eskimo Joe performing next Saturday handicap at the Railway Stakes. This event was over 1,200 metres, and correct way it was delayed as they were having a look at the start with Wicked Hunter, Brad.
That's right, got its head down, just as Todd Plain, the starter, and Michael Vickers had given the all clear for the start to be effected. Wicked Hunter got its head down and lost 7 links. Unfortunately, that was simultaneous with the barriers opening, so in those circumstances it was called a runner mark. King River, well thought of in the race. It was impeded. The 200 had to be angled outwards. It did lose a bar plate. It's off for a bar plate and came back lame, showing some sign of soreness in that foot. And a new time out of the barriers slowly, expected to be up on the pace. Shelby Botel said that she had anticipated the start. There was a very slight delay, and as a result she lost ground, Malibu style wide.
Brad, no flies around this afternoon, evening. It's great, isn't it?
Much easier today, Mark.
Indeed. Race number 4 was the Network 10 handicap over 1,400 metres, and Crusoe dumped Jordan Turner. That's the second time Jordan Turner's been dumped this week.
That's right. Fortunately, no apparent harm there to Jordan. So fortunate again. Out of the run, Big Caroline couldn't get clear in the straight. Astronomite, it was disappointing. Randy Tan put forward that although getting clear, it failed to accelerate. Betted out well. We'll follow that up through the week. And Pinzo was another one. Held up until the 50 metre mark. Candlelight Star, a big run handed in by Candlelight Star, being caught wide, and also lay inwards.
Let's get stuck into the black type races and the quaddie leagues. Race number 5 was the Breast Cancer Care WA Champion Fillies Stakes over 1,600 metres, and there was a fair bit happening at the start of the race, Brad.
Early in the race, Mark, we had an ongoing inquiry at this stage where there was interference to a number of runners. Ian Badika, Samovar, Ali Kazoom and Jenna Bell, they were the 4 horses involved. So we're looking at that, and we will go through that after the last race.
Yes, my heart's still breaking with Just Like Fire missing out on third. But on to race number 6, RJ Peters Stakes over 1,500 metres. Heartstarter was keen with the top weight and still ran home very nicely. That's
right, and we put to Glenn Smith. He wanted to be neutral out of the barriers. This horse over-raced at its last start, and with its heavy weight impost, he didn't want to be taking off around horses at the 600 metre mark. It would have meant having to restrain and coming back, and with that type of weight, he felt his best option was to try and improve through the field, but other runners moved ground, causing Heartstarter to become held up until about the 150 metre mark, and was able to make ground after that. Ideal Image caught wide, Neverland impeded until the 100, and Great Shot also, another one marked, was impeded until near the 150, and Showy Chloe at about the 150 metre mark was impeded for a number of strides.
So plenty to come out of the 2 races so far in the quaddie. Race number 7 was the Heineken Colonel Reeves Stakes over 1,100 metres, and a lot more cleaner than the Prince of Wales, and the winner was just too good, Vega Magic.
That's right, no difficulty for Vega Magic today. First among equals, again unlucky, really couldn't get clear in the straight. And Regal Commander also until about the 100. Volkov had to work hard when obliged to race wide throughout.
Race number 8 was the Evoke Media Ascot Gold Cup over 1,800 metres. And Brad, what came out of this race?
Chocolate Holic looked to pull very hard, never settled through the run. Don't get caught, just held up for a little distance on straightening. And we're just going to review Jason Brown's use of the whip on the winner in the straight.
And that is the wrap-up of the day's card. And Brad, this report will be available on the Chris website within the next half hour, of course, as well, with the results of that inquiry that's ongoing from race number 5.
That's right, Mark. I'd say in the next half an hour to an hour, it should be up on the site there.
Brad, as always, thank you very much for joining us after the race. It's been a wonderful day of racing here, WA Champions Fillies Day. We look forward to seeing you at the Masters next week for James Boag's Premium Railway Stakes on the 19th of November. Get home safely.